Think about what you do when you are bored. You might turn on the television, scroll through endless videos on your smartphone, or play a highly realistic video game with friends across the globe. Today, entertainment is a massive industry designed to constantly stimulate our brains and keep us occupied during our vast amounts of free time. But imagine stripping all of those screens and devices away. Take away the internet, the electricity, the sports stadiums, and even the concept of a weekend. Imagine waking up 50,000 years ago in a relentless, unforgiving wilderness. Every single day is a grueling, exhausting battle for survival. You are constantly hunting, foraging, avoiding deadly predators, and trying to keep your tribe alive through freezing winters and scorching droughts. In a world where every ounce of energy is desperately needed just to stay alive, the idea of wasting precious calories on playing games or having fun seems like a terrible, almost suicidal strategy. Yet, archaeological evidence proves that early humans did exactly that. They played, they laughed, they created art, and they made music. So why did they do it? How did ancient humans find time for fun in a world constantly trying to kill them? And why was this completely unproductive behavior actually the secret weapon that allowed our species to conquer the planet? To understand ancient fun, we have to completely change our definition of what play actually is. In the modern world, we view play as the opposite of work. It is something we do only when our daily chores are finished. But for early humans, play was not a break from survival, it was the ultimate training ground for it. Look at the animal kingdom. Wolf pups constantly wrestle and bite each other, and young cheetahs chase each other across the savanna. They are not just goofing off. They are developing crucial muscle memory, testing their physical limits, and learning how to hunt. Ancient human children did the exact same thing. Their versions of tag or hide and seek were not just casual games. They were high-stakes survival simulations. Running, dodging, and hiding were the exact skills needed to escape a hungry saber-toothed cat or stalk a herd of wild deer. By turning these vital skills into enjoyable, competitive games, the human brain ensured that children would willingly practice survival techniques all day long without needing to be forced. Fun was simply nature's clever way of making intense, exhausting education incredibly addictive. But fun was not just for children. Adults in ancient tribes engaged in complex games and physical competitions that served a massive evolutionary purpose. In a harsh prehistoric environment, a tribe's survival depended entirely on absolute teamwork and deep social trust. If a group of hunters went out to track a mammoth, they needed to know they could rely on each other with their lives. Physical games, wrestling matches, and coordinated throwing competitions were the perfect way to build this essential trust. When adults play together, their brains release a massive flood of endorphins and oxytocin, the exact same bonding chemicals that make us feel deep love and connection. Laughing together around a campfire after a physically exhausting game acted as a powerful social glue. It dissolved internal tensions, settled minor disputes, and created a deeply unified group. A tribe that played together was a tribe that stayed together. When the time came to face a rival group or survive a brutal winter, that unbreakable social bond, forged entirely through having fun, was often the difference between life and death. As early humans evolved, their version of fun became much more sophisticated than just physical games. They discovered rhythm. Imagine sitting around a roaring fire on a pitch-black night. Someone starts tapping a thick stick against a hollow log. Someone else starts clapping their hands. Soon, the entire tribe is moving and vocalizing in perfect synchronization. This was the dawn of music. Archaeologists have discovered flutes carved from hollow bird bones and massive mammoth ivory dating back over 40,000 years. These delicate, beautifully crafted instruments took massive amounts of time and effort to create, proving that making music was deeply important to our ancestors. But why? Music and dancing were the ultimate psychological synchronization tools. When a group of humans sings or dances in a rhythmic pattern, their heart rates actually begin to align. The boundaries of the individual ego begin to blur, and the entire tribe begins to feel like one single massive organism. This collective euphoria was incredibly powerful. It gave early humans the immense psychological courage needed to face terrifying threats. Before a highly dangerous hunt or a terrifying clash with a rival tribe, rhythmic dancing and singing pumped them full of adrenaline and stripped away their individual fear, replacing it with unstoppable collective confidence. Beyond the physical games and the hypnotic music, early humans developed what is arguably the most powerful form of entertainment in human history. When the sun went down and the fire was lit, the physical work of the day had to stop. This was the time for the imagination to take over. Storytelling was the prehistoric equivalent of watching a movie, but it served a much deeper, far more critical purpose. The elders of the tribe would craft thrilling, terrifying, and hilarious tales about ancient heroes, clever animals, and powerful unseen spirits. On the surface, these stories were highly entertaining. They kept the tribe engaged and distracted from the terrifying darkness lurking just beyond the firelight. But hidden beneath the pure entertainment were absolutely vital survival codes. A thrilling story about a brave hunter who ventured too far into the jagged mountains and was eaten by a monster was actually a perfectly coded map warning the next generation about highly dangerous terrain. A funny story about a foolish animal eating the wrong berries was a memorable, life-saving lesson in foraging. Our ancestors realized that the human brain forgets dry facts very quickly, but it remembers a good story forever. They used the sheer enjoyment of a gripping narrative to download thousands of years of survival data directly into the minds of their children. Perhaps the most awe-inspiring evidence of ancient humans having fun lies painted on the walls of deep, isolated caves. Across the globe, from France to Indonesia, early humans ventured deep underground to paint breathtaking images of wild horses, massive bulls, and their own handprints. Creating these massive murals was incredibly dangerous and physically exhausting. They had to crawl through suffocating darkness, holding flickering torches, just to mix raw pigments and paint the damp walls. There was absolutely no practical survival benefit to this. You cannot eat a painting, and a drawing of a lion will not protect you from a real one. So why did they do it? They did it because the human brain had evolved a deep, insatiable craving for creative expression. Art was a way for ancient humans to play with reality itself. It allowed them to take the terrifying, chaotic world outside and recreate it in a space where they had absolute control. It was a profound intellectual game. By painting the animals they hunted, they were expressing reverence, analyzing their prey, and exercising a level of abstract imagination that no other creature on Earth possessed. Today, we often feel secretly guilty for taking time to just have fun. We live in a highly structured, fast-paced society that constantly tells us that every single minute of the day must be productive, profitable, or useful. We view playing games, listening to music, or getting lost in a good story as a luxury or a lazy distraction from our real work. But when you look back at the incredible, brutal journey of our species, you realize that fun is not a luxury at all. It is the absolute foundation of our humanity. The games our ancestors played built the physical strength and the unbreakable social trust needed to survive the harshest environments on Earth. The music they made gave them the courage to face the terrifying unknown. The stories they told passed down the wisdom of countless generations, and the magnificent art they created sparked the abstract thinking that would eventually build modern civilization. So the next time you find yourself laughing loudly with friends over a silly game, moving your body to a favorite song, or getting completely absorbed in a great movie, do not think of it as wasting time. You are participating in a sacred, ancient ritual. You are using the exact same evolutionary tools that kept our ancestors alive against absolutely impossible odds. You are proving that long before humans ever learned how to build vast cities, write complex laws, or conquer the globe, we first had to learn how to play.